Here's an update of some of those succulents that I received cuttings from and transferred the cuttings in my previous video. I'll leave a link for you below. We'll start with this cactus here. I cut one of these arms off to start a new one. Where is it? Right here. So far it's doing good. It's doing so good it actually has little buds growing off of it as well. I plan on cutting off even more because it looks kind of heavy and around the top, and I have the stick here and it just could do better. Here's another one that I got the cuttings from the mother plant here. This one was really woodsy and it was in a smaller pot, a pot about this size. So I repotted it in a bigger pot and I cut one of the samples off of it and put it in here, and I grew it long ways. And when I grew it long ways, I made sure that I held it down with these little staples here to allow it to grow across, because I assumed that the leaves would come out long ways and it would be bushy instead of just one piece that goes up. And it still, as you see, has roots coming out the side, and they're hard. They're not soft at all, not soft like the leaves are, but they're pretty hard roots. They really stretch out a whole lot. This one did not do good. In the other video, I cut the bottom of it to make it look more like a tree, and some animal or whatever, I don't know what it was outside, just kept pulling it out of the ground, and I would have to put it back into the pot again, and I would just find it with the roots up. So I'm glad I cut off you know, little cuttings from that one. And this is how this one looks, a lot more healthier. I may cut it again, the mother plant again, so I can have more. So this one is actually the same plant that came from here, and I also put the staple down. It looks like two different plants are growing, but it was just one long piece of cutting here, and I just held it in place with this, which is rusted now. And the cilantro seed got in there, and I don't have the heart to take it out, and when it gets big enough, I'm cutting it off and I'm throwing it in some food. Okay, and that's about it, except for this kalanchoe. I always have a lot of kalanchoes. These little pieces here, they fall off, they get roots at the bottom. I don't think any of them are showing roots right now, but I will insert a picture of them when they do root. But it's one of my favorites. It's also called Mother of Thousands. Sometimes I take little pieces of it and put it into other plants, and sometimes it volunteers and just drops any and everywhere throughout my garden. I love it. I think it's a beautiful one. Alright, that's about it for my cuttings so far. Okay, so here it is, one of my favorite cactuses that I did receive a cutting that seems to be growing pretty healthy. I mean, I didn't expect this to grow within like 3 months the way that it did. It took off. I love it. I love the pink in it, and I decided when I looked at this one that I can get at least 3 more little samples of this plant here to grow and bring in for the winter. So what I start with is my scissors. I think this one's pretty good right here. Now if you can see that, let me move this instead of my camera. This one is a pretty good one. That will make a nice healthy plant, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that. Cut that one off. Let me get it. There we go. I got one of them. I think I may also take this one. There was a fight between these two, but I think this one looks the sturdiest and would make the plant look good. So I think this one should stay. And I'm going to get rid of this on this side, because if you look from where I'm looking at, there's a new little baby coming out. Can you see that? So it'll replace what will be lost. I'm gonna go for this last one right here. I'm gonna leave this one because it's kind of little, and the little ones, I mean, they can grow, but it looked a little awkward. So I'll just let that one right there be until it's a little bigger. So I'm coming through, and plus besides that, there's a new one coming in. Can you see it right here? Right there. So I'll just take the bigger of the two. And for me, I'm going to leave this one alone. And it's not as top heavy, because I guess with it being so top heavy, it would just flip over, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to put it back. And as a result, because these do prick, I don't want to get pricked. But I'm trying to see if I can pick it up and show you guys without messing up my plate. Okay. Ouch. Alright, so here is the piece right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this time to dry out, and it's going to callus over. And when it calluses over right here, then I'm going to put it into the dirt, and I'm going to wait a while before I water it. With this one, dang, I got kissed by one of them cactuses. I could feel it in my finger now. I'm trying to hold my composure, but anyway. With this one here, it started to warp a little bit, like wrinkle up and get real skinny before I watered it, because I looked at it and I'm like, okay, that's either going to sink or swim. I need to water it. But when they don't have any roots, you water in it, it gets mushy, it dies, it would be worthless. So first I'll let it callus over, I put it in some dirt, and I will wait till it starts to look like it really needs water, and then I'll add the water to it. And you see these little pricks right here? I don't know what else to call them. I'm going to take them off, because usually when I do a cutting with something with leaves, I don't leave leaves at the bottom. So I'm not going to leave these little babies at the bottom either. I'm going to take them off as well. So I'll get back with you guys and give you an update on how they're doing. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, please. Please excuse the loud noise. I'm over by my air conditioner vent outside, but okay, I got my cuttings. I took all of the little extra little, I don't know what to call these little cups. I took them off so that when I do finally get these to callus over, they'll have time to concentrate on rooting rather than the new growth, and when it's time for them to get new growth, they will develop their own. So hopefully it'll stay dry out here. If it starts to rain, I'll bring them back in the house. I kept the little cups or the little cuttings from the side. I don't really like to waste stuff, so I might just put them in the dirt anyway for giggles. If they decide to root, they do. If they don't, I didn't lose anything. So it's always fun to experiment with things, but I will let you guys know in about 3 days how this goes. Hopefully nothing outside will eat them. I mean, I did cut off the little pricks, and I pricked myself a couple of times, so that does prevent most things from wanting to mess with them, but without them, I don't know. It's all fair game. Alright guys.